Shalom, everybody. Monsters, controlled by a dragon. Top-down control over all men has been a reality since the fall of Adam. Ruling over us is an apparatus having its roots in the spiritual realm. Yahuwah's most precious creation is mankind. A beast system rules over all mankind through principalities. It has been centralizing its control, tightening its grip by shaping behavior. As this monstrosity controls and directs man's enterprises, it grows in power and weakens us. Even before Babel, mankind was under the corrupting influence of demonic influences. And Elohim looked up upon the earth, and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. Genesis chapter 6, verse 12. One of the results of genetic tampering by fallen Malachim, messengers, angels, during this time was their offspring called Nephilim, the fallen ones. This was the physical evidence of a rebellion against Yahuwah and his creation. This continues today, and will until Yahusha returns. And as the days of Noah, so also will the coming of the son of Adam be. Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. For decades, man has tampered with the genetics of both plants and animals. The cloning of plants led to the cloning of animals, and now science has turned to recombining genes of plants and animals. The tomato you eat on your sandwich may contain DNA from a spider or a pig. Our foods have become corrupted, referred to as genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. The purpose is the control over the seed. These monstrosities cross-pollinate with normal plants, altering their genetics composition as well. Transhumanism to post-humans. Darwinism prompted an interest in managing humans, populations, and gave rise to a branch of science known as eugenics, with the goal of enhancing the quality of populations, control over food supplies, racial balance, reproduction, wars, and disease vectors are being steered by various agencies of the United Nations. The masses are unaware of this control or its source and goal. Emerging technologies are being adapted to bring the human species to an enhanced level using every means available. Cloning plants and animals and the mapping of genomes led us a long way down a certain path. Transhumanism is the plan to supersede the human species towards the goal of developing post-humans. Improving the human genome using DNA from other species to produce enhanced soldiers is now an arms race. We have returned full circle to the point mankind was at in Genesis chapter 6. Beast, apparatus of control. Transhumanism. The Nephilim became reintroduced in the same way they were first introduced. A female body and eggs provide a matrix to fabricate living beings. Even though alien to the human genome, the new arms race is understood to be post-humans through transhuman experimentation. Mixing human genes with other species to produce the most efficient killing machine is no longer fiction. Combining the DNA of a lion, leopard, and spider with a human would produce a formidable opponent. in any combat situation. One could even imagine such a creature to be an abomination of desolation. The genetic experimentation, tampering, is widely accepted under the term GMO. When involving plants, though many of us are opposed to it, just as in the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the son of Adam be. All flesh is once again corrupting itself, and the plant world beyond all recognition. Biological enhancement is a first step and offers the illusion that lifespans will be drastically increased. Machine intelligence technologies give the false hope that man will eventually be able to live forever. A logical conclusion of genetic research is the merging of human consciousness with machine intelligence and control. The ghost in the machine. Downloading the consciousness of a person into a data file offers the illusion of eternal life. As soon as a new software module comes along to upgrade the system, older files will simply be deleted. Machine interfacing will initially be for military purposes. Fighter pilots, bionically linked with thought-controlled weapons, sound a bit like Borg invasion from Star Trek, but it is already becoming a reality. Babel, the head of the dragon. Daniel's writings gives us a description of how future generations would be controlled by four kingdoms. A dream was given to the king of Babel, and Daniel interpreted it as a prophecy concerning all empires of mankind's future. These world empires have ruled mankind for eons, ages of time. The image had a head, shoulders and arms, belly and thighs and legs, feet and toes. Later, these parts were described as four beasts: a lion with eagle wings, a bear, a four-headed winged leopard, and finally a world-dominating monstrosity with iron teeth, 7 heads and 10 horns. They depict the empires of Babel, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. The fourth empire will remain until the Ancient of Days come. See Daniel chapter 7, verses 19 to 28. The books of Daniel and Revelation reveal that the controller is the devil, who controls all the earth through a highly organized scheme. 4 monsters illustrate the empires. The fourth monster is a composite of the former 3 monsters, having grown to become the most powerful force to all, consolidating control over all mankind. The New World Order is really the Old World Order. The control is traced to the principalities and powers, which we wrestle against, not flesh and blood. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against world rulers of darkness of this age, against Ruah-like entities of wickedness in the heavenlies, demonic forces on another plane. If Yahusha is in us, we are wearing the armor of Elohim, and our house is protected from assault by Ruah-like entities. Yahusha fights for us, and we bear his fruits as the spiritual battle rages. 1 John chapter 4, verse 4 tells us, "You are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world." A fourth monster. Daniel chapter 7, verse 21 through 23. I was looking, and this horn was fighting against the Kadesh ones, and was prevailing against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and rulership was given to the Kadesh ones, the set apart ones, of the Most High, And the time came, and the set apart ones took possession of the rain. This is what he said: the fourth beast is the fourth rain on the Eretz, or the earth, which is different from all other rains, and it devours all the Eretz, tramples it down, and crushes it. At any time, a person can stop rebellion and invite the presence of Yahusha into their heart, their inner mind, to take control of their lives. His loving kindness is everlasting. This is one of the most amazing statements describing the love that is in Yahusha. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor messengers, nor principalities, nor powers, neither the present nor the future, nor height nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim which is in Mashiach Yahusha, our Master. Romans chapter 8, verses 38 and 39. All we have to do is stop rebelling and turn away from the dragon, the head of the monster, the beast, and turn back to the tree bearing the fruit of eternal life, Yahusha HaMashiach, our shepherd. Ask for the old paths. Thus said Yahuwah, stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where the good way is, and walk in it, and find rest for yourselves. But they said, no, we do not walk in it. Yirmiyahu chapter 6, verse 16. By this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and guard his commands. For this is the love of Elohim, that we guard his commands, and his commands are not difficult. 1 John chapter 5, verses 2 and 3. What old paths? What commands? Malachi chapter 4, verses 4 through 6 tells us it is the Torah of Moses given to him at Mount Horeb. The trainer or schoolmaster trained us. Then we practice what we learned. The works of the devil divert us from the Torah of Yahuwah. The programming of the world is a planet-wide illusion of false reasoning. Most people toil to amass an empire of dirt. Their lifelong accomplishments amount to nothing in the eternal perspective. Everything they are and all they possess can be taken from them in a brief moment. This world molds our thinking and is an artificial reality or matrix. No matter where or when a person lives, they are brought under the control of the serpent king and the brood of vipers. The doctrines of men are the doctrines of demons. The Georgia Guidestones. The occult hierarchy that rules the world erected a monument proclaiming hope in reason, a deification of humanity constructed of granite stones. This American Stonehenge appeared on a high hill in Elbert County, Georgia in 1980. 10 guides, or commandments, are engraved in 8 different languages. A sight pole in the center stone allows the North Star to be in view at all times, an obvious association with the host of heaven. Or Babel's zodiac. The adversary seeks to be viewed to the north. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 14. How you have fallen from the heavens, Helel ben Shakar, you have been cut down to the ground, you who laid low the Gentiles. For you have said in your heart, let me go up to the heavens, let me raise my throne above the stars of El, and let me sit in the mount of meeting on the sides of the north. Let me go up above the heights of the clouds, Let me be like the Most High. The guides cover four major areas of thought. Number one, governance and the establishment of a world government. Number two, population and reproduction control. Number three, the environment and man's relationship to nature. Number four, spirituality. The cabal of globalists who promote the New World Order are working diligently to cause a great shift to focus more power into the hands of a very elite few. One of them is quoted as saying, "We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis and the nations will accept the New World Order." David Rockefeller. The restrainer is the controller. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 6 through 12. And now you know who restrains, for him to be revealed in his time. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, only until he who now restrains comes out of the midst. And then the lawless one shall be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the ruah of his mouth and bring to nothing with the manifestation of his coming. The appearing of the lawless one is by means of the working of Satan, with all power and signs and wonders of falsehood, and with all deceit of unrighteousness in those perishing, because they did not receive the love of the truth in order for them to be delivered. And for this reason, Elohim sends them a working of delusion, for them to believe the falsehood, in order that they should be judged who did not believe the truth, but have delighted in the lawlessness. Centralizing power. Bankers fund wars. Central banking under the United Nations World Bank controls all currencies. Through its various agencies, the UN is a global governing body making the elite planners very wealthy and powerful. A primary function of the fourth beast is to centralize control over every aspect of this planet, molding each individual into compliance with its goals. The beast system seeks to identify those who resist its authority. Documentation of every living being will help them manage more efficiently. So a universal database that registers everyone is essential. The scheme to collect data on individuals and help a record of them must involve some product or service that is desirable and appealing to everyone of all ages. Whatever the product or service is, most will willingly submit to being registered in the universal database and carry proof of compliance. Sounds like Facebook or social media. The government could even make it a law for everyone to participate in the product or service in order to collect the data. Or even Google. The government could even make it a law for everyone to participate in the product or service in order to collect the data, and even fine or imprison them for not registering in their program. Socialism is believed to be the strongest and most direct form of control over society. It is sold to the masses as the solution to all human needs and is accepted by them quite easily due to greed. The United Nations headquarters. The global elite attempted to unite the world under a one-world government after World War I. They named it the League of Nations. It failed because the United States did not join, seeing that its sovereignty would be usurped through treaties with a world body. World War II was fomented to crush the world through a lightning-fast war, blitzkrieg, and strike from several fronts all at once. When this failed, the secret organization called the Council of Foreign Relations formed the United Nations in 1945 and built its headquarters in New York City, funded by John D. Rockefeller, a banker. Rome, the fourth beast, is controlling the nation's many waters through its Jesuit Illuminati cabal. Its masterpiece of control is the United Nations. The Pope demanded the UN be given real teeth. It's about to overwhelm the nations, and it will be a crisis they designed that will cause the nations to accept its totalitarian rule. A rock will strike the feet of his image and bring peace to this world. The powerful elite will strike like a serpent in an unexpected way as they hide securely in their holes. All flesh will be endangered. And if Yahusha had not elected to shorten the days, no flesh would manage to come through it. Prepare for the great tribulation. Read Malachi chapter 4. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the New World Order. The words of David Rockefeller, a banker. This is Monsters Controlled by a Dragon. Shalom, everybody.